Welcome back to Heroes on Our Island. I'm Mike Stevens, coming to you this week from Patchogue. We're overlooking the beautiful Great South Bay, where the waters are so full of blue claw crabs that when Maryland, which is famous for the blue claw crabs, runs short, they import them from here. All right, let's head over to Valley Stream now, where I introduce you to a husband and wife with a heart for kids. For over 30 years, Clifton and Deborah McDowell of Valley Stream have been happily married. He's a retired Wall Street executive who over the years has worn many hats, including a hard hat, while overseeing construction of the expanding church he's pastored for many years, the Church of God of East New York. Like himself, many of the members live on Long Island. He's also worn the dad hat with the 4 now adult children he and Deborah have. But he and Deborah are also known as a couple who build hope for people in poverty here and on the other side of the world, as adoptive parents.
We read their story, saw their faces, and I looked at their birth dates. There was, we started with 2, and they were close to the birth dates of our kids, and it was kind of like, this is bad English, but we can't not do something. And so that's how it started.
The McDowells, through a group called World Vision, personally sponsor 4 children in Rwanda, meaning they send a certain amount of money each month to some specific kids they consider a part of their own family, to help them buy food and other necessities.
She's 5 now. She'll be 6 in November.
What a name, Innocent.
And this guy is the biggest smile. We have Marie Rose and Patrick. They're both 14 years old. We have Innocent. She is 12 years old, and recently, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we got a little girl named Anna, and she's 5 years old. For our own immediate family, we have 4 children. I wanted to kind of mirror. I have 3 girls and 1 boy biologically, and we also have 3 girls and 1 boy that we sponsor there in Rwanda as a family. And so we write to each other, we send pictures, and so it's more than just going through the motions for us.
Part of the joy of it is once you correspond with them and you get these letters back telling you what they do, what they like, and you get attached. You do get a little attachment there. And we actually sent things over to them during like holiday seasons, and you get shots back of them wearing them, and so you know that they're getting the stuff. And it just makes it very personal.
But unlike many other Long Islanders who do similar things, sending money to help children in poverty-stricken countries, Clifton McDowell has personally traveled to Rwanda 3 times, which is where these pictures of the kids and others in their village were taken. He says he made the trips to meet the kids in person to see for himself how the money's being used and to see firsthand the difficult conditions they live in. And with his encouragement, 100 others in his congregation now do the same, sending money to specific kids in a country hit hard by genocide, HIV, and AIDS.
The second time that I went, I actually was talking with, saw my kids. And in addition to seeing the kids that the church is sponsoring, and some other ministries, some other congregations are sponsoring as well. But you kind of see that the living conditions that are with children that are not sponsored. You see the difference in those children and their families that are receiving sponsorship funds. You just, it helps you to appreciate what you have here in America. In the Rwanda situation, where you see the impact or the rippling effect that the genocide had. The rippling effect that the HIV pandemic had, that it made so many orphans. And so it was a tremendous experience. I kind of said that, it enlarged my heart. It broke my heart, it enlarged my heart, and it just gave me a greater capacity, I think, to care.
Now, some may ask, with a church that's being expanded to serve local families, with money being donated a little at a time in this still rebounding economy, why take funds to sponsor children elsewhere? Well, the McDowells say they believe God will provide what the church needs for its construction to be completed.
It's taking us a lot longer than we anticipated, but some way, somehow, God's going to help us get it done.
And to help the kids.
The scripture says, all of the commandments that God has given us, he hangs them on 2. He says that we're to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and we are to love our neighbors as ourselves. And those children in Rwanda, they're part of our neighbors. They're across the ocean, but they're our neighbors. And the motivation is love.
there's a joy that comes along with it, to know that you're helping kids that don't have the same privileges that you have, that you take every day. It's just something that's a part of life, and it's not for them. And so there's a sense of feeling like you're accomplishing something, really, to give back to them, and that you're making a difference.
And the McDowells are taking their care and compassion one step further, helping the children in Rwanda and their families get something specific many of us take for granted.
One Sunday, I was seeing, everybody's drinking, getting a bottle of water, and it's just so easy. We can go to our tap, and I saw these children, they were crying out to us to give them our plastic bottles, just so that they could go to a little stream, fill it with water. We saw children carrying big jugs on their head, where they went to a pipe just sticking out of maybe of a mountainside there, and the water wasn't really clean, but they're carrying this water back to their homes, walking for miles and miles. And then we saw those places where they actually had clean drinking water, and it was a tremendous difference. We said that for every bottle of water we drink at the church, we've asked members to put $1 in a fund, so that we can begin to raise money to dig a well. And so that's that's the project that we're doing, in addition to continuing to support kids there in Rwanda.
With that kind of compassion, as far as being called heroes on our island, Deborah speaks for the family.
How do you feel about people referring to you and your husband as heroes?
Far from it. I think we are far from it. I think it's just what we ought to do. We're not rich, we don't have a lot of extra money, but just taking what you have and saying, it's enough to share. It's enough to do something. Even if it's something small, it's making a difference to them. And so, heroes, by no means.
Now, the McDowells hope to have that well built for the kids in Rwanda by the end of the year. If you'd like to make a donation or find out more, you can contact them at COGENY913@AOL.com. Well, after the break, we're going to tell you how to contact us to let us know about a hero you'd like us to meet, or a neighborhood like this you'd like us to visit. Stay with us. Now, the people you've just met in this edition of Heroes on Our Island are heroes in many ways: body, mind, and spirit. We hope they've inspired you as they have us. Well, here's how to contact us to let us know about a hero or a neighborhood you want us to know about. Now, if you know someone who you think is a hero, or you want us to come to your neighborhood, why don't you contact us? Here's how. And here's a look at what's coming up on the next Heroes on Our Island.